Hey everyone, can parenthood, particularly early parenthood, and gaming coexist together? That is a question I asked myself many years ago, and today we're going to find out. You're going to help me paint a picture. That's what we're doing today. We're painting a picture. And that picture is going to be a picture of my own experiences. It's going to be your experiences, and your experiences, and your experiences. That's right, we're going to put all of our experiences together, and that's going to create a picture that will be pretty familiar to all of us. Now, if you're already into parenthood, you would have very quickly realized that parenthood is the consumer of personal time. It's just going to gobble it all up. You'll have time and it'll be gone, and you'll sit there asking yourself, where did it go? But there's hope. And today and in the videos to follow, I'm going to show you some of my tips, some of the things that I learned along the way that can hopefully help guide you as well on your journey. But before we get into that, as with all things worth telling, all stories worth telling, we need to start at the beginning. Let's chat. All right, picture it. So you found a partner, you have a job, you're getting money in your pockets, whether you like that job or not, irrespective. You've got some free time, you're doing lots of hobbies, lots of things that you love to do. You're getting out to the gym, you're going for running, you're gaming, you're doing whatever it is that you like to do. And just in general, you're learning more about yourself and more about your partner and what it means to be together. And then somewhere along the way, one of you have a great idea, either yourself or your partner. You decide that, hey, let's just throw everything up in the air and have a baby. And your mind starts whirling and whirling. All these different thoughts start coming into play. Do I want to be a parent? Would I be a good parent? Were my parents good? Will I be a good role model? What's going to change? Change. Hold up. Don't drop that brush just yet. Time starts passing, but you've got 9 months. You've got 9 months to prepare yourself and to prepare your environment. The car door opened. You jumped in, it's 60 on cruise. You're going down there at 60 on cruise, but you've got 9 months. There's plenty of time to get things ready, to get yourself in the right headset, the right mindset, and plenty of time to prepare. Now, time passes, but in that time, you've got the right gear, you've got the right setup, you've put things in motion, you've got plans ready, you've got your crib, you've got your bassinet, you've got all of that stuff ready, you've worked out how you're going to do your schedules, and most importantly, you've both worked out how you're going to maintain time for some of the things that you both enjoyed doing. Now, for me, that was gaming. And for my wife, it could have been, reading a book. It could have been, finding a quiet moment to do some meditation or a cheeky afternoon nap. Whatever that thing is, we sat down together and we said, okay, let's plan this. Let's make sure that we can actually find time for the things that we love while still having the child. And we were ready. We found ourselves ready. Woohoo! Let's do it. Let's have that baby. Let's go. And then before you know it, we're leaving the hospital. Me, my wife, and a new baby in the back. And we're sitting there and we're wondering why. Why are they letting us walk away from the hospital with a newborn? They saw how bad we were at it in the hospital. Why are they doing it? Why are they letting us walk off? We couldn't even feed the baby properly that first night. We got 0 sleep. And in fact, the nurses had to take over that first day or that first night. So why are they letting us walk away, with a newborn? And it just didn't make sense to us on the ride home. And wait. Okay. Look, we knew this was going to be rough. We knew it was going to be rough, and we knew a lot of things would change. But look, we just need to relax and just let this whole thing blow over, right? Just let this whole thing blow over. We'll be okay. We'll be ready. We were ready for this. We put plans in motion, but hold on. Wait. Isn't it Monday? Don't I game together with some friends on a Monday? Oh yeah, hold on. I just need to tell my wife that I'm just going to go play some games. My buddies are on Overwatch. I need to go play some games. So then it starts to dawn on you. There's no time for that. You're not going to find time for that. The time that you once had for that and the time that you've got now and what you're experiencing in that moment are two very different things. You just don't have time for that anymore. All right, let's put that brush away. So what we painted here is a pretty typical painting, I think. It's a painting about parents who, um, they have an idea of how it's going to be when they come into it, and it's often very different from the original idea. And you know, for us, we had hopes and dreams of the things that we'd be able to keep, things that would remain unchanged, that we'd be able to work with and support each other to maintain. For me, that was gaming. I wanted to maintain my love for gaming, and I knew that my hours and the time that I spent on them would be very different. But I wanted to make sure that I could still find time for that. And for my wife, it was reading. It was doing the things that she loved to do on her own. And so we sat down before all of this. We sat down and we said, okay, well, how do we make this work? How do we support each other to make sure that we're taking care of the baby, but we're also taking care of ourselves, and we're making sure that we're finding the time for the things that we love. Finding the time for for me, as I said, for gaming, making sure that I can find time for that. And I knew there would be things that I would have to drop, and so did my wife. We both knew that there's things that we'd have to drop that we couldn't do. For me, that was basketball. I was playing competitively during the weekdays, and I was doing scrimmages on the weekends. There was a lot of time put into that. There was a lot of running around, a lot of exercise and jogging, and I knew that as a new parent, I'd have to lose something, and that was something that I was willing to give up. But what I wasn't willing to give up on was gaming. And so before all of this, we sat down and we planned ways in which we might be able to split time and enable us to do those things in spurts. Not as it was. It would never be the same as it was in terms of all the time that we would need to put into it. Previously maybe I'd put in 4 hours or something, but now it'd have to look very different. It'd have to look like 30 minutes. So look, once we realized that it just wasn't going to be the same, and we wouldn't be able to find time for the things we loved, where did I turn? Where did I turn for help on this? Where did I turn to try to find a solution to my time problem, to make sure that I could get time for gaming? We had hoped that we would be able to plan for it, and it looked like we just couldn't do it. So where did I turn? I turned to the internet. I turned to YouTube. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of babies born every year, and those babies have parents. How many of those parents are gamers? Maybe not a massive amount, but there'd definitely be some. And how many years has this been going on for? A lot of years, right? So there's in my mind, I'm like, there has to be gamer parents out there that have run into this same situation, and they must know, they must have things that they did, ways in which they could find time for their hobby and do it in a way in which was healthy for for them and for wife and for child. And that was the most important thing for me, was to make sure that we could find a healthy balance here where we're getting what we need in terms of parents, and the child's also getting what it needs in terms of attention. So I turned to the internet, I turned to YouTube, and it was only after looking at this for a while that my frustration started to come up a little bit. I was, up until this point, I was definitely a little frustrated that I couldn't find time for things that I loved, but I was really hoping that by looking at these external sources, YouTube, Reddit, whatever, that I'd be able to find a solution for this. And when you think about how many people are in the same situation every year on year, you would assume that there's answers out there. And what got me frustrated at the end of that was it just seemed like there were no answers out there for that. Where do you go when you've got a question? You go to YouTube. You go somewhere looking for answers, and typically it's an online space. And so in this scenario, I was asking a question, and I'm like, okay, well, that's where I always go to get my answers. So there must be answers there, and there were none, and it was extremely frustrating. And so what I hope to do here with this, with this channel, is to basically be the light in the shadow that wasn't there for me. Be the light that will help guide you through some of this, to help show you some of the things that I learned along the way, because it is a very hard thing to do, and there's definitely things that you're giving up. And for a while there, for me, it looked like I was going to have to give up everything. Give up everything. And I know, like early on in our childhood space, parenthood space, my wife would often say that she was willing to give herself up entirely for that first period, for the first 3 months or first 6 months or whatever it was. And, that's great to be able to say, but in practice, it can really burn on you, it can really draw on you. And we found that that's exactly what was happening to us. So my aim here is to help guide you, to show you some of the things that I learned along the way. And, it's not going to solve everything for you immediately, but there's hope here. And, your gaming time will still happen. And even other hobbies, whatever, it doesn't have to be gaming, it could be something else. It will happen, but just know that it's going to look a little bit different than it used to. It's not going to be exactly the same. You're not going to get your 4 hours on the weekend or, hour every night, doing whatever it is that you love. That time is now has to be calmed off elsewhere. And just know that that's okay. And just know that, what you're going through now is what I went through. And what I went through is what other people have gone through. And just know that there is a light there. And just know that we're all in it together. What you're experiencing now, we're all in it together. Okay, so just know that from the outset, because I think that's extremely important. This is a space in which we can chat about things, and we'll ride this together. This is a car. We can all jump in. There's enough seats. Jump in, and stick with me for the long run. Thanks, everyone. And that's it for now. I need to, I've got a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas in these videos that I need to throw together. And I just need a little bit more time just to put those together. So join me for the next video.
Subscribe and
Until
like.
then, take care, get some sleep, and hopefully when I see you next time, it's going to be a little less dark under the eyes.